Trent Thrasher Construction. From idea to completion, we manage it all. At Trent Thrasher Construction, we create spaces big enough to hold your dreams. We believe in the nobility of hard work. That's what sets us apart. We take pride in everything that we do. There are lots of companies out there that can build your project, but at Trent Thrasher Construction, we don't just build, we create, innovate, collaborate, and take absolute pride in every single project we do. Trent Thrasher Construction. We're here for you.
Little Burton's, 4755 Alabama 179 in Boaz, Aurora community. This is your one-stop shop from freshly cut meats and steaks, breakfast sandwiches, to famous Hunt Brothers Pizza. Hey, you can fill up your tank and enjoy a freshly brewed cup of hot coffee. Let owner Jamie Grant and his staff give you the customer service that you expect and the old-time Southern hospitality you deserve. Little Pierce & Pierce, attorneys at law. 256-455-0984. Let attorneys Kyle and Beth Pierce take the worry away. They specialize in criminal defense, appeals, probate, family, divorce, wills and trust, real estate, and property. They are only one call away. 256-455-0984. Attorneys Kyle and Beth Pierce. We are in this together. Etowah County Tip Line, 256-543-2893. Etowah County Sheriff Jonathan Horton understands it takes everyone's involvement to keep Etowah County safe. If you see it, report it. 256-543-2893 or use the free app, the Etowah County Tip Line. Twin City Used Cars, 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama, 256-844-2210. Open Monday through Saturday from 8 to 6. Owner Bobby Ledbetter encourages you to come take advantage of his over 30 years of experience in buying and selling amazing vehicles. Incredible inventory, honesty, fairness, reliability. Hey, that's just what you get at Twin City Used Cars. Integrity is a way of life for Bobby Ledbetter in Twin City Used Cars. Check them out on Facebook at Twin City Used Car Sales, the exclusive used car dealership of KAPOW Media, Twin City Used Cars.
J.W. White, you know what day it is.
It happens to be Alabama-Auburn Thursday, brought to you by Fully Loaded.
You know that's right. Who's your guest? I think he needs no introduction, but...
So, when I was thinking about this Auburn aspect of the show today, Jeffrey, I said, you know what? Let me go get the guy, the renowned, maybe the infamous Stacy Jones. Welcome.
That's enough.
Yeah, stop.
He wasn't sure where I was going to keep going. Hey, Stacy, thank you so much for taking time to be with us today, man.
Glad to be here.
Man, you talk about stories from Auburn. You're the guy. You got a ton of stories, man. Yeah, none that we can tell on the air, but you got great stories.
No, I was probably during the time that some of the greatest athletes in the country were there.
Yeah. Let's go back for a second and kind of tell your story a little bit. So Etowah High School, tremendous ball player, can play any sport. So let's just take it to where you decided to go to Auburn and kind of go from there.
Okay. 1985, I was a two-sport athlete coming out of Etowah High School. I was a basketball player and a baseball player. I was recruited more heavily on the baseball side, and I made a lot of trips to do. I wanted to make sure I stayed in state, but I made the trip down to Alabama, went to Jacksonville, went to UAB, and down to Auburn, and it felt like home when I went down there. Coach Baird, it was his first recruiting class, and he had actually recruited an in-state player or out-of-state player because it was going to be his second year. Going down there, met all the players, and fell in love with the campus, fell in love with the workout program, the whole 9 yards. And I knew that's where I needed to be at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one thing we hear all the time, even from Alabama fans, man, Auburn's campus.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It's different. It's
It
just
is.
different.
It was different.
Yeah.
Completely different.
Yeah.
You know, when you walk around the majestic of the buildings, the landscape, the architecture of the campus, I mean, it sells itself.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you got the right people involved, you know, you're going to be able to bring in the right students.
I hear they're bringing back Tiger Rex, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hadn't heard that.
Yeah. I'll keep you up there.
The store, right?
Yeah,
right
the store
there?
Tiger Rex. Yeah, it was a great
nice.
store back in the
Yeah.
day on it.
Yeah.
And so, set the picture for the ones that don't remember. You played with some of the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And-
when I actually signed, prior to me signing, when we were going around the campus, I got to meet that one phenomenal athlete. Everybody refers to him as one of the greatest athletes of all time. And he was walking across campus, and he was coming from Haley Center, going toward the baseball field. Now we're walking the other direction. We're crossing paths. And Coach Renfro, which was hitting infield coach, and he introduced me to him. And of course, I really didn't know him that much at that point, you know, as far as like me being a huge Auburn fan, because I was an Alabama
Sure.
fan during that time. So he introduced me to him. Not a big deal to me. I didn't think a whole lot about it. But as time changed, when I did sign and go down there on that campus, you know, but to be a part of the Auburn family, it grew and it grew. And that fall, he actually won the Heisman Trophy, and you know, I mean, the man could do stuff that most people don't even realize.
Yeah.
As far as like size-wise, 6'3", 225, 230, but the physical explosiveness of what he could do was amazing. So anyway, being down there with him, I saw some of the greatest athletes that you can imagine walk across that campus. Of course, I was not there when Charles Barkley was there, but I saw him a couple times when he come back.
Sure.
And then, of course, you had Bo Jackson and Frank Thomas. Frank
Oh,
was
my gosh.
you know, he's in the Hall of Fame of baseball. You know, over 500 home runs. My roommate Greg Olson was all-star.
He was
rookie.
okay.
He was
all right.
fair. I think he played a little 10 years.
Yeah.
And he's in the Hall of Fame with the Orioles. And great baseball player. And of course, you go looking at all the athletes that was down there, from Brent Fullwood to Chris Morris basketball,
Wow.
Chuck Person, his younger brother.
Chucky P, boy.
It was a beast.
It was a really good time to be on that campus, you know, to be able to see athletes. And then you don't think about it when you're actually there because you're in the moment. It's afterwards, down the road, 10, 15, 20 years now, you look back and say, my goodness,
Yeah.
that was quite a group. The one person that I did see on that campus that didn't play for Auburn that I thought would fit in phenomenally well, it was the big diesel from LSU.
Oh, my gosh.
Basketball.
O'Neal.
Yes, Shaquille O'Neal. Now, that was like, if you watched him play college basketball,
I did. I
Yes.
watched Christian Laettner shut him down.
that's the
Go
way.
Duke.
Yeah,
The
that's,
level of frustration on his face was great, but anyway.
That's the way Bo Jackson's ability was. You know, on a daily basis, because he's just that much stronger, faster, ability to run. So
Did you guys do cross workouts then? Or was baseball just with baseball? Did you get to work out with some
during the summertime,
yeah.
everybody worked out together. I worked out with the football team, ran with the football
Yeah.
team. We did have different workouts.
Sure.
It's a little bit. We're not looking at bulk, and we're not really pinching the shoulders that much. We still worked on explosive stuff, especially on the conditioning side, athletics side. When you're an athlete, you can play multiple sports. Doesn't matter what sport it is, you're able to go out and do if you're an athlete, and that's what we tried to develop while we were down there. But we did have different workouts than we did as football
Yeah.
players.
So you think Bo would have been baseball if he just focused on baseball?
If you'd have focused on
Yeah, just
baseball, he'd be
baseball.
in Cooperstown. Yes.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at the stats, just him putting the ball in play. If he put the ball in play, just put it in play, he was over 400. If he put it in play, he missed a lot. But those strikeouts numbers were going down as he progressed. So, I mean, if he put it in play, now the power numbers, everything else, and people don't even really talk about his arm strength.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the arm strength, and he didn't really go out there for intentionally say, all right, we're going to develop arm strength this year. Oh, he had it.
Yeah.
He could throw it from the outfield fence on the line. That ball he threw threw Harold Reynolds out
Yes.
in the Kingdom in Seattle. That was phenomenal.
It was 108 miles an hour from his arm.
Yeah, Harold was talking about that last year on one of the Baseball Tonight episodes, and he said if you go back and watch it, the look on my face, he said I thought the catcher was faking, like just pretending, because there's no way the ball beat me.
That's exactly right. It
was incredible.
Keeps looking back. He's like, it's not real. Who threw that? Who threw it? And where'd it come from? Yeah.
And that ballpark in particular, man, it's a city. It's huge.
Yes.
It's huge. And Bo Jackson's Power, Kansas City is not a small field.
No, not at
Big
all.
field. You remember old
I
Kansas
do. I've
City,
been there.
man?
Yeah.
And
Incredible.
him hitting up there on the top of the crown.
Freaking makes no sense.
Yeah. What he did against Rick Russell in the All-Star game, because Russell was a low ball pitcher.
Yeah.
And Bo was a low ball hitter. Throwed it down there, looked like a two iron, golf ball coming off.
Incredible. So let's talk about some of your teams at Auburn. You guys had some good teams out there, some good seasons, and
We did. We never really made it to Omaha.
Yeah.
Coach Baird was that was an early part of his career as far as at Auburn, as far as recruiting, and we move in that direction. Prior to Coach Baird getting there, it was kind of in the middle of I don't call it a slump, but he wound up going in. When you got connections with the Atlanta Braves front office, you got connections with the office at Kansas City, that talking to scouts. He knew those type of people in order to reach out and say, I need to get this kid out of Omaha, Nebraska. What's his name? Greg Olson. You need that kid right there. Get him down here. You need this kid out of New Jersey, Ed Dilks. And that's how it works. Baseball is all sports really. It's about communicating. And if you got those connections, you can pull those players in. Once you start pulling them in, then you can start building that nucleus. And we were the first, like I said, Coach Baird's first recruiting class. I was the only player from Alabama that he signed, the first one. The rest of them, he had 2 from Omaha, Nebraska, 2 from New Jersey, 1 from Tennessee. That was his first signings at Auburn. And then as time went along, of course, he kept grabbing them from out of state, in-state, and next thing you know, they're in Omaha. Now, his career speaks for itself.
no time. Braden Lowry says, hello, Coach.
Stump. Yeah. How about that? Hadn't talked to him on Stump. Good talking to you.
Man's a great kid. Great
Right, that's
kid.
all Etowah boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brandon, he played ball with Brandon,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
He did.
Yeah. Good ball player too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now, your dream's always to be Major League Baseball player.
I love baseball.
Love it.
I love it.
So-
I do. I love it. Here I am. I'm 57 years old, and I watch videos all the time about how to get better. I'm watching Summers Method out of Florida. I'm watching the Texas Baseball Ranch. I love baseball. I love to analyze it. And here's my problem. When I go watch a ball game, I'm deciphering everything. He needs to throw this. This guy may run. I wouldn't face this lefty on lefty. Take that one out. I've been that way my whole life.
Yeah.
I do. I love that. 108 stitches on that little round ball that weighs 5 ounces. I truly love it.
It seems smaller in those hands.
Yeah, I was gonna say, his circle changed in the
Oh, you don't even see it. You don't even see the ball.
Can't sit.
See.
Got to hold on to it a little bit.
Briggs Freeman says he misses you, Coach.
Love
Briggs.
him too.
That's you talking about
when I
greedy
left
player.
Etowah, 'cause I think it's been about 4 or 5 years ago when I left there. It really, Briggs, I'm speaking to you. It meant a lot how you felt about me when I left, and it was a difficult decision for me to leave, and it really did bother me. I'm tickled to death. I kept telling that group, as they come. Coach Bone did a phenomenal job, getting them there, winning the state championship. But I kept telling them as the 7th and 8th, you got to envision it. You got to see it happening, winning that state championship. And they walked off, champions.
Can never take it away from them.
No, proud of them.
Those are good boys. A good group of kids come through there.
Oh, great group of kids,
yeah,
man. Because you could be a great high school baseball player, not have the talent to play college ball, but still be a great high school baseball player.
Yes, absolutely.
Sure.
We're always wanting to strive to be better.
Sure.
And if you don't, and I keep telling this, even the kids I have at Coosa, you gotta love it. And Coach Saban nails it down over and over and over. You gotta love the process. You gotta love feeling sore. You gotta love getting sweaty. You gotta love getting up out of bed and going and do those things that other people don't want to do. Everybody's got the will to win, but nobody wants to prepare to do it.
Yes.
The preparing part is what does it.
Yep.
That whole statement was like me going to the buffet. You got to have the will to do it. Sometimes I'm sweating.
That's right.
I'm getting it.
Jerry looks like he's been on the Stacy Jones workout, hasn't he?
He's
you seen it?
Absolutely.
Isn't that
when
crazy?
I saw him in the hall, I thought,
Yeah.
it's great. Probably like 30 pounds.
Oh.
Way more.
Yeah. No, since last
since last time we saw you, probably so. Probably.
Oh, yeah, it was at the baseball state champion or the state champion.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah. Just trying to be around a little longer, Stacy. I was telling Jeff
I
about
need to get on
workouts.
your program.
Yeah.
You want nothing to do with my program, Stacy.
His involves a lot of tequila, so you got to be careful. You got to be careful.
And light beer. It's bad. Save the calories.
Is that less filling?
It's filling.
Oh, okay.
I tell the story all the time. I'm a little 8th grader at Etowah trying to be a sports hero. You come back working out, snow on the ground, come back from Auburn with Jim Glover Field. You got me in the middle of the field, laying down, doing these crunches. I'm like, what the hell am I doing, Stanley? He's running. I said, you ain't no coach here. Why?
Like I said, you have to enjoy the process.
Yeah, so we're doing, we're running bleachers and in my new athlete. Only been playing ball. I only played football. Started in the 7th grade, so this is my 2nd year of playing ball.
Right.
And my mind, I'm thinking. First, I'm thinking, man, I got this amazing athlete who said, "Hey, Jay, come work out with me." And I'm like, "Ain't no coach here making you do none of this." That helped me so much. No, because then I decided, well, if he can do it, Stacy can do it. I would be like Stacy.
Yeah.
He's cool. All the girls love Stacy Jones. That ain't ever changing. The coolest guy doing it, man. You were in such good shape.
I was. I used to run 5 to 7 miles a day. I would get up in the morning, and I would go to YMCA. All right. This was when I was playing ball. I'd get up and I'd go to YMCA, and I'd be there at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and I would go in and do some workouts and stuff, and then I would go run. There's a little 3K, 5K run race area over there. I would go run that, and then I'd go back to the gym, and then I would go in there with the older people that would come in there for lunch. They would come in and play basketball. Gary Wales and all. Yeah, we would play basketball for an hour of it. Then I'd go take a shower, and then I would go to the baseball field at Etowah at 1 o'clock, 1:30. And then I'm working out and running with them, and then when it was all over, I'm running again.
Wow.
I kind of wore my body out a little bit, but I wouldn't change any of it. I loved it. It.
And when we're running in stadiums, it's that Jim Glover on the home side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it ain't no little bleachers.
You're going up. Yep.
Oh, it's like we're going to heaven. We just kept going.
Yeah.
It was crazy. All right, so now take us through your great career at Auburn.
I wish my career at Auburn was a little bit better. I look back. Could I have been better at it? I was always. Here's my thing. If you don't have that lead person out in front of you, Greg Olson was my roommate. Mm-hmm. He was ranked as the #1 player pitcher coming out of high school in the country, and he was my roommate. I always was trying to better him. That's a bad way of looking at it, but I always was wanting to be higher or try to get that recognition that he was getting. But my junior year, everything was going good. Like when I was a freshman, I went down there. I started the 2nd game of the SEC tournament.
That's crazy.
I had moved up from being in the bullpen, getting some games in, and the next thing you know, I'm a starter. In my sophomore year, I'm the #2 guy. on the roster as far as pitching, but Greg was their closer and shifted him to the closer. I would have been number 3. So, and then my junior year, I'm the ace with Greg in the bullpen. So I'm starting out every SEC game. I'm the first one right out of the books. I know it's there. But I hurt my back. I hurt my SI joint, and I got where I couldn't pick my leg up. I was from running.
Yeah.
And it was just jamming on that nerve, and I got where I couldn't pick my leg up. So my junior year was about the worst year I'd ever had. You know, it was difficult to deal with. So if you've ever dealt with that, and you're trying to pitch, lift your leg, land on your front leg, wasn't easy.
For opposing teams, Jeff, can you imagine who we're going against? Oh, Stacy Jones started. Oh, who's come out the bullpen? Oh,
Yeah, I mean, you're
Coach, I think today's a good day to sit me out. I need a break this week.
Now I wasn't no Paul Skeens by no means, but I mean we were pretty.
Who
good.
is?
Yeah, not
That
very
dude. Jeff loves him. He loves skiing.
He's legit.
Just not when he pitches against the Braves.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair.
It is fair.
Yeah.
It is fair.
So
This is not the break show today. Let's move on.
we'll move on. All right. So the bat sounds different off some players.
Yes,
You got to give me a story. Some of the bats you heard down there at Auburn.
Okay, all right. I'm going to use Bo Jackson's for instance.
Yeah.
And this is an actual thing that actually happened. All right, we're playing Clemson. There was a pitcher on the mound, left-handed pitcher named Barnes. It's funny how when you
Sure.
remember these things. You know, it's 57. I'm 57, so I was 19 years old, and we're playing Clemson. This guy named Mike Milchin was his first baseman for them. He wound up playing on the Olympic team, and Barnes was the left-handed pitcher. Wound up pitching for the Montreal Expos and wound up 5 or 6 years in the big league. But we're playing Clemson at home. Bo Jackson's, they wouldn't pitch to him. Nobody would pitch to him. So Coach Parrott moved him to the beginning of the order. So you either going to pitch to him or he's on first base with nobody out.
Wow.
So they put him on. So all right, right off the bat, he gets a base hit. Not a big deal. Gets a base hit. He's on first base. Now Barnes is a left-handed pitcher. Milchin's on first, which is a left-hander, and Barnes picks off at first. Bo, instead of going back to the bag, takes off, goes to second. All right, and as Milchin did the exact thing he's supposed to do, come to the ball from the pitcher, gets it, fires it to second. Bo slides in, and he's got dirt all over him. It's just all, and then he starts wiping it off, and he's got this 6-pack in his from the dirt in his white shirt. Auburn jerseys are white. So, all right, so now he's on second base, and where everybody's in the dugout. And I'm telling you, people were there to watch him, anything he did, and I was at that point. I was in awe also. So now we've got a gentleman that's at the plate named Rock Wilson from Huntsville. Rock gets a single to left field. All right, to left field. Bo takes off and going to third, and he looked, and I'm not making fun of short people, but Bo looked like a midget going to third because he was leaning so far. Leaning.
Yeah.
He was leaning. He was really low to the ground, and his left foot slid out from under him. All right, and you think, hey, this guy's moved, world-class speed running. He takes his left hand, pushes it into the ground, and pops up and never really lost stride. Now, when he hit home plate, he's out of control because of it. When he hit home plate, he lost his footing and rolled all the way to the backstop. I mean, boom, 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 just rolled. Then gets up, hops up, runs to the dugout. It was phenomenal. So, but that's kind of athletic ability from him. But you're talking about the sound of the bat.
Yeah.
It's not the same. It's a solid. Rather than a ping. You hear. If you've ever gone play golf before, you hear the difference in somebody's driver.
Sure.
And ping versus a knock.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about a solid knock, and that's the exact one. This is because of their fingers and their hands are so strong. The bat doesn't give as much, and you don't even have to look. Every now and then you can hear, like at the high school level here, you'll hear these BB core bats that have a little different muffled sound. Well, that's an aluminum bat, but when you got a wooden bat, you're going to hear a solid or a a week, but when it sounds like a BB cork, like a deep boom,
Yeah.
you know you've got somebody up there that's got some strong hands.
Love it.
You know.
Let's see. Todd O'Brien says War Eagle. Ed Kelly said, doing a great job, Coach. Proud to see little David grow.
David is growing. Absolutely. He's coming to his own.
That's awesome.
How do you enjoy coaching? I mean, obviously, you love the process like you do. That's obviously that transcends or translates into coaching. You want to make people better.
That's why I keep. Yeah. That's why I keep doing it. You know, if you enjoy competition, you're going to continue to learn because you don't like lose.
Right.
I don't like to lose. I like to win. But there is something in losing. You got to find that silver lining and figure out why we're struggling. Why did I do? What could I have done different? My thing is to being able to translate and give that to players. Let's just talk about baseball real quick. As far as me being a coach, let's just say you was a pitcher and you're a hitter. Okay, and we're talking about getting him out. How do we get him out? Well, first, there's so many cues that's out there that he's giving away. You've never even seen him swing a bat, but he's giving it away, what he likes to hit, by multiple things. How close is he to the plate? How far away from the plate? Is he up in the box or in the back of the box? How high is his hands? Okay. Is he standing straight up? If he's standing straight up, he likes to hit the low ball because he's got to go down and get it. If he's crouched down, like Jeff Bagwell did, likes the ball up around the belly button, he'll come up and get it. So he's giving those cues away. How do you get him out? These kids got to learn a little bit.
Yeah.
I tell you what I'm learning the most from, and Jeff and I both all the time watching baseball videos and different videos, but the best baseball content to me right now is Trevor Bauer.
Oh, it's outstanding.
When he gives his pitch by pitch breakdown of his games, after the game he goes back and he tells you, hey, here's what I was thinking, here's why, here was the tunnel I'm trying to set up, here's the sequence of what I was thinking.
That's right.
Man, I've learned so much from
if you watch his videos when he was pitching, of course, down to Mexico, he's pitching against the Yankees, and he's out there talking what he's going through, what he's looking for.
Yeah.
That's what you got to be able to pull yourself back away and be able to say, this is what I need to do.
Yeah.
You know, first you dissect the hitter and what he's got. Then number two, you have to dissect yourself and to be able to put it forward. And then you've got some history there that if you faced him before, this is how I got him out before. This is what he's trying to do. The thing about making the major leagues, I made the major leagues when I was 23 years old. But the problem was, I said I got hurt, but that the problem that occurs most of the time when you get up there, barring any injury, is being able to stay. How do I stay? There's an adjustment wrench that you've got to be able to reach down and say, all right, they're pitching me like this. I'm not. It's like Jackson Holiday right now with the Baltimore Orioles. Is it Jackson?
It is.
That's right.
It is.
Jackson Holiday. All right, you got to make adjustments. Once they figure out how to get you out, if it's down and away, or if it's up and in, or change speeds, or if it's velocity, if he don't make that adjustment, he won't make it.
That's right.
So as you get into the big leagues, there's so much pre-scouting that's involved. You have to figure out how to make adjustments.
I think Jackson will.
So, yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I do too. I
whose
think
dad
he's
is
going to be
he?
a Hall of Fame player. But if he doesn't make that adjustment right now, he's struggling.
Yeah.
With the pitch. You know, and of course he's coming off of DL a little bit.
He is.
Injured list, but you have to learn to make those adjustments.
Do you think talent, raw talent, the Bo Jackson talent, the Stacy Jones talent, gets you to that point? And then that wrench, you got to have good coaching. You surround yourself with good people and be teachable, right?
Today's there's two levels to what I call talent, or I'm gonna say there's three levels. There's generational talent. You know, the Bo Jacksons. Those are gifted. If you look at Major League Baseball right now, there's 800 players. There ain't but 40 of them, and they're born.
Yeah.
They're born. The rest of the 800, which is 760 of them, have to work to get there. Okay, so they're not generational talent. They got talent, but they do certain things well. Okay, and then how do you use it? Today's and that's a camera right there. With today's biomechanics and breaking things down, they have been able to change the game. Okay, it's not what you see; it's what you appear to see. It's like breaking balls now. You know, they're throwing it through a window, but and I keep telling the hitters that, you know, or pitchers that I coach, I'm throwing this baseball, but you're not swinging at it at 60 feet away. You're swinging at the ball's halfway. You're making that decision halfway to the plate if I'm swinging at this pitch or not, if I'm a good hitter. Okay, it's in a window out there at 35, 40 feet away. This is my pitch to hit, you know, at the college level, professional level, that can break that down. High school, it's really hard. You only have a few that can do that. So I'm swinging at this pitch. It's in this window. Now, by biomechanics and seeing that with the spin of the ball and the rotations, and you know, at one time they were allowing you to use some rosin that was really cranking the ball. Now that ball disappears. They're able to throw it in the same window, same location. It ends up in 2 and 3 different spots. That's why you're seeing so many strikeouts now. And of course, strikeouts come with velocity, but also come with being thrown in that window and then it disappearing. Or it's starting outside that window, and then it end up in the strike zone 60 feet away.
The average major league batting average right now is 240.
That's not
Crazy low.
It's crazy low. Yeah, they're
sense.
interested in home runs, getting them, you know, one swing. Let's put one
Exit
run
velo.
on.
That's all we hear. Exit velo.
Yeah,
So
I think if they can get the higher the exit velo and the more, let's just say, more you make solid contact, the better your average is going to be.
Sure.
You know, and I'm going to break baseball down even more. Back when I played, every you got to keep the ball down. You got to keep it down. You got to keep the ball down, and that was the thing. Well, they taught those hitters had to hit the ball down. Now look at where they're throwing the ball.
It's evolution.
Evolution. Now they've raised the ball up, throwing 4-seamers and a little bit more velocity. So as you see, everything kind of evolves and changes. And I actually think right now you're going to see, because if I was an owner for a major league team right now, if you go looking at what they're paying these people to sit on the sidelines with Tommy John surgery over and over and over again, they've got to make some changes.
No
You're
doubt.
either going to want the velocity, or you want your guy on the mound pitching that's got 4 miles an hour less that can control the game, versus being on the sideline with a
Now I'm hearing
Tommy John surgery.
there's actual major league pitchers now who's had it the second time.
Yeah.
And working back through the process.
What do you think is causing that? I mean, honestly, we got
It's analytics of being able to look at. I'm trying to think of the name of it's where you can see the rotation of the ball, and how much vertical break and how much horizontal break you got, and they're able to look at the spin on the baseball and the RPMs, or how many times it's turning, and they're trying to create that ultimate horizontal break, which is a curveball or slider that's vertical break of 18 to 20 inches, which is going from right to left or left to right. That's what they're that's what they're getting. So you can look at it and throw that baseball and say, all right, if you crank it a little bit more, if you crank it a little bit more, crank it and pull it a little bit more, and they keep trying to get more and more and more. Well, the elbow can only take so much, you know. And if you're looking at a slider or a curveball, a true slider, you're actually getting on the side of the ball and you're running through it. But a slurve, you're actually turning that hand in. You're trying to get that finger in front of the ball. All right, when you do that, the actual hand is going the opposite direction where it needs to go. The hand has to turn over. It has to turn over to the inside. Thumb goes down and then starts slowing down. It starts slowing the arm down.
Yeah.
Well, they're cranking it the other way. And it's a delayed turn of the thumb going down. And that's where the injuries are occurring in the elbow.
Makes perfect sense.
it does.
Too much sense. A couple things here. Scott Coley says, "What's up, Stacy? You're the man." Interesting question here. So Jackson Justice wants to know how your business is going. Stacy Jones, Weed Eater Repo.
Well, right now we've got a little bit of rain, and we put off weed eating and mowing at the complex. We do have a drone show coming. Drone show is this
Saturday.
weekend, Saturday at Vivian Maddox. It's going to be a lot of vendors there and a lot of people showing up.
So we'll have to have you on a couple more times. We hadn't got to the major league career, but I want to talk lastly for me is like when Jeff was in school, you didn't become, in my mind, a good pitcher to your junior year. Your 8th grade freshman, sophomore year, you just overpowered everybody. So talk about that progress and how you actually develop. When you're younger, it's just pitching. And he was a phenomenal pitcher, but your early years, you just outpowered everybody. Then you learned how to pitch. I know you teach that. Talk about that just a little bit.
Okay, there's a couple
lot to break down. Yeah,
there's a lot to break down in that little question. Number one, genetics play a big role. You know, my mom and dad were pretty good athletes, and my dad had good work ethic, but he had also the size. But my mom was a really good athlete. All right, now it's proven. If you go looking at major league pitchers, major league ball players, major league athletes, major league baseball, you're looking at about 20%. 20% make up 80% that are late bloomers. Late bloomers.
Yeah,
so you're going to have kids that couldn't walk and chew gum, and I was one of them. When I was 14, I couldn't hardly do anything.
like a Great Dane.
Yeah, a Great Dane. Looked like a giraffe that just been born. All right, I was a late bloomer.
Yeah.
Okay, so I excelled later on. Okay, now everybody hits puberty at a different time, you know, and we're producing hormones at a different time. Some produce them when they're 12, 13. I've seen kids with a mustache and a whole full-grown beard at 12. Well, I didn't start growing hair on my face until I was 16, 17. I never even shaved. You know? So my onset delay was different, you know. So as far as like each individual player, you're going to see, and that's where coaches at the high school level need to understand that kid sitting down there at the end of the bench, you need to be working with him when he's a 7th grader, because he's going through puberty and you don't know what he's going to turn into. They all need to throw. They all need to be doing their exercises as far as hitting and running and throwing. I don't care if it's football, basketball, or baseball, or any of the other sport. That everybody develops at a different time. All right. Now, if you can reach in and see the magical thing because of genetics, you know, that makes be able to reach in and say, this one's going to be. You know, we need to make sure we focus on these certain things. So, but I'll always say this over and over, always work with every one of them. Don't ever count one out. And I was one of those, because when I was 15, I got cut from a team.
Wow.
Because I couldn't run fast. But
crazy.
I wound up 3 years later with a full scholarship to Auburn. And 3 years after that I was in the big leagues. So my 15-year-old group, I got cut. Well, it was 14. I'm sorry, 14. It was Pony League. I didn't make the first team All-Star with Mr. Black, and I did not make the second team All-Star team. I got cut from it. So I wasn't even one of the top
That's crazy.
20 kids in Etowah County at 14. But, you know, but God has
And that's something.
God has blessed me. I've lived a great life.
And a lot of people are enjoying. You've blessed a lot of people.
That's right.
Well,
A lot of people, man.
You know, I just love people. Love being around people, being able to coach kids. I love it. I love to be a part of, you know, of something that's a lot bigger than me.
Sure.
Because that's one thing. When you're down there in the bullpen or you're working, it's more important that they understand that you're spending time with them rather than grabbing this phone.
Yeah.
You know, and it's more important.
Jerry and I calling Coosa games. We enjoy, like on Friday nights, calling a game. We watch you. Of course, when you get there, you're going through the stands. You do what you're supposed to do because you're AD and you're politicking and you're loving on folks because you do love people. And we'll go, look at Stacy. He's not going to miss anybody. And then you're out on that field. When it gets intense, you see that gate open and there's Stacy Jones out on that field walking the sideline.
My role there has been, I mean, I've done everything from collect money to the driveway coming in, picking up trash to, you know, last fall, and this is something that's pretty hard to talk about. And you know, last fall I found out my dad had cancer, and we're still dealing with that. So right now he's in remission. He fell and broke his nose back October, and then he fell and broke his hip just recently. And you know, and I haven't been able to do what I'd like to do around the school. You know, but I'm in the right place in my life. You know, from being a Coosa with the kids that are around there. They may not know me a lot, but my heart's in the right spot. It is in the right spot because those kids mean more to me than anything else.
We were during the was it semifinals? Where was it? The semifinals? Baseball. We were up in
Christian.
Yes, we were up Summerton, and watching you could see. If the game starts to get more intense, Stacy starts to move.
Moving around.
And it's just the greatest thing. And we're like, look at him. You can't take it out.
We had a Stacy Jones cam.
We did. We did.
It was good.
But it was great. But talk real quick. I know we got to go. Man, we knew that was going to happen. We're longer on this show than we are any other one we do. But besides Joe Taylor, because he talks a whole lot. Sorry, there. Recruiting from a standpoint, back when we were all in school, you were just a few years ahead of us. You came out in 85?
85.
Yeah. And so we're looking, I started playing high school in 87, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. During that time, there's no social media. There's no internet. When Jerry come up, same thing. Recruiting at that point was really up to having a good coach or some good contacts, right? How did that work versus now? Coaches, Jerry's main issue with coaches in this area, some do it well, others do not do it at all, of helping a kid that has that JUCO potential, that D1 potential, 2 potential, seeing that, notifying that, and then working that to get this kid looked at. How did it work then? And how do you see it working now, and what improvements can these coaches make?
Okay, from the standpoint of high school wise, things have changed as far as recruiting. Back when I was in school, it was word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you had scouts going here, there, a little bit different. Nowadays, if you're not 90 miles an hour, they don't really think.
Mm-hmm.
We had a kid from Peppers from Geraldine that come to Etowah and was playing in the East West All Star game. We wound up calling the coach over Jack, Case, you got to go over and see these kids. You know, they're going to find you. At some point, they're going to find you to some point. But the way social media is now, and the way coaches are from the college level. Think of this: if you're at a mid-major or a major college, when is your season? Let's just say your baseball. Let's just say your volleyball. Okay, when's your season occur? It's really the same time as the high school season's going on right now.
It is.
All right, and that's where everybody's kind of gone now. A lot of coaches, even softball. I mean, they spend a tremendous amount of time in the off season going to see travel ball. You know, but you've got to be realistic when you go to these travel ball. Now that's a completely different subject. We could sit here for hours and talk about this travel ball.
Yeah,
because I
We
think
need to do
travel
that,
ball
by the way. Yeah.
travel ball is killing baseball in the United States.
It's a money grab.
Well, it is, but here's the thing, you know, and we wonder why we flip on the television. Now, I'm gonna jump subjects real quick and go back. We flip on the television. What's the nationality in these kids that's playing on TV?
Dominican,
Puerto Rican. You know,
Thank God for Juan Soto.
yeah, he's good. All right, but here's the realization that most people think they're down there playing every day. They're playing games every day. No, they don't. Major League Baseball's got these facilities all over the place in Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and down in Mexico and Venezuela. All right, they've got these facilities, but they only play about two games a week. Guess what they're doing the rest of the time? They're practicing. They're learning the right way. They're not just going to compete. You know, that's not it. They're practicing. Now, when they come over to the United States after they're signed, they finally get to eat real well, and then you start gaining 20 and 30 and 40 pounds. I mean, some of these kids are getting off the boat coming over here weighing 140 pounds. Next thing you know, they're 210, 220. It's because of the nourishment that's involved. All right, but getting away from that, all right, colleges nowadays, you're going to have to do something during the off season to get noticed. And I'm going to say this, and I've told parents this over and over. If your son's not within that window, what I'm saying window, all right, I'll say, all right, we're going to say there's a Major League Scout over here at Coosa tomorrow, and I'd like for you to come throw for him. But you're going to be a junior, and you're throwing about 76 miles an hour. And you got to pay $100 for him to come see you.
Sure.
Okay. You know what you're doing? You're paying him to tell him you're not there. That's what we're doing a lot of times. We're going to these camps and proving that we don't belong. And we're spending a lot of money on telling them we're not. hey, we need to go work. We need to go to work. And I'm
Yeah.
talking about getting your body right. Because if you ain't touching 90 when you're a senior in high school, you're not going to a Division I unless
Yeah.
you're a left-hander that's throwing 87, 88. Because the times have changed. All right. Now, junior college, 85, 87, you can spend a little extra time on the sideline learning because you're a project. You've got the right body, you got the right arm strength. You just can't pitch yet because you don't know how to pitch. So, training's the most important part. The number two is getting with the right people. Getting with the right people as far as like during your summer program. Because if you're going to go to exposure camp, go to the right one, but you got to make sure you're ready to go. You can't go and say, all right, get on the mound, let's see your hardest. Well, how long's it been since you've thrown?
Sure.
Yeah.
2 weeks. That's not good. You're looking at hurting yourself.
Yeah.
So,
Is it showcases now? Is that what
Showcases, that's exactly right. Yeah.
That's it.
and here's what they wind up doing in a lot of showcases. You'll have some coaches that are there getting paid a lot of money to come watch, but they're just there to come watch, and to get you there, to get you money from them, and that's it. But then again, you may show up. It might be the right deal.
Yeah.
But if you're a good player, they're going to find you.
Yeah.
You don't have to go spend everything you make in order to get your child to be seen. It's good to take them to the colleges and let them throw for the coaches, but you got to make sure the arm's ready to go do that.
One thing that I think is missing around here, we have one in Oxford. There's one, I think, being in the works of by Stovall, I think, is Tyler's trying to get ready to put one together here in this area. Some training facilities that is it Elite, I think.
I'm not sure what the name of it, but I know Tyler does a lot of camps. He does a lot of work.
Yeah, he's building for the Bluff.
Yeah, I think so. And he does a good job. He's a good coach. You're really good to work with people and teach folks. So, I think if you're out there and you got kids that are that you think maybe have the right stuff, I think I would listen to Coach Stacy, Coach Jones. Get them the right training. Don't just overwork them all the time and think the travel ball. I have my youngest son is a great baseball player, phenomenal, ridiculous, but he doesn't love it yet. And he's really good, but he doesn't love it, and so that's why I'm like, we don't have to do travel ball. We did a couple years, and I said, do you love it?
See, where I think travel ball comes in really good handy. It's really good for the age of 13, 14, 15-year-old kids because most of the time during the high school season, they're not playing. They're not playing.
Right.
They're not.
That makes sense.
They're not getting the development that they need to get. They're not getting the bullpens. They're not getting the work because a high school coach a lot of times, could be a small program, could be a big program. They're over here focusing on I've got to win the area, get in the playoffs, and this. But your younger kids, you may not get the amount of innings. You're not getting the training. And then you also, and I'm not making fun of high schools. They're on budgets.
Sure.
Where it's pretty hard to get somebody to coach them younger ones.
That's right.
And you're begging a teacher to coach and to be out there. And do they know what they're doing all
Most
the
of the
time?
time,
Most of the time not.
Okay.
So they skip that window of opportunity where I was talking about the maturity part when they're starting to go through that.
That's really good right there.
And you're missing out on that.
I don't know if we close this thing out. Are you looking for a good Christian education?
Yeah.
You know where to go. Call Stacy.
Absolutely. We got a good thing going on. We really do. And
State champion baseball capabilities, right?
Yeah.
Great baseball program.
we got a good baseball program right now. And we went to the semis last year. We got everybody back but 3. I'm looking forward to it. Really am looking forward to it.
Football played for a state championship.
Would like to look in the crystal ball, and I think we got a chance to make another deep
I
run.
think they're a little better this year
2A.
than last year.
Absolutely.
And state champions in track this year.
Yeah.
First time ever. New basketball coach. A lot of stuff going on at Coosa.
Lot
I'm
of
just
stuff
saying, if you're
going
looking for a good Christian education.
Yeah.
Think about it. You got a former major league ball player as the athletic director. Who else wants to compete like this guy, but also a person of integrity? Coach Stacy Jones, thank you so much for being with us on KAPOW. And thank you for, let me tell you, you are the epitome of patience, kindness, gentleness, to be friends with this guy all those years after.
And now he's surrounded with Jack Justice and Marco Bryan.
See, that just, I didn't say about his judgment. His judgment is all.